All of this started because one of these broke. I'm wearing glasses, so I can't see the time at night. I decided to make my own. You can buy a 7-segment display, but they're relatively expensive. For example, 5 inches costs about $3, so 4 pieces it's about $25 including shipment. If you want something bigger, that's $10 to $20 each, and the choice is limited. But hey, I own a 3D printer, maybe I can just print it. First, I downloaded a model from the internet, then scaled it up and divided it into housing and segments. Housing was printed out of black PLA. Segments were made in form of shells and printed using white filament. Cool white 180 degrees LEDs were chosen as a light source. Unfortunately, light distribution was uneven and there were 3 visible spots. To overcome, I covered them with aluminium and then used plexiglass as a light guide. At first, I tried making them by hand. It's not worth it, just trust me. But I have a friend that owns a laser cutter. So I used that and made 4 layers. The first 2 are 2 mm thick and contain LEDs. The last 2 are 1.5 mm and used for scattering the light. All of them were sandpaper and glued together. Gluing needs to be made in 3 or 4 points. If the glue feels sandpaper scratches, it will conduct light. To keep it visually nice, I used black plexiglass on top. One very important thing, traditional plexiglass is opaque, but there is a tape called smoked. It is black and transparent at the same time. This is the schematic. Power distribution was done by using off-the-shelf regulator with a buck converter for the LEDs. That allows me to control the voltage independently. ATmega48 was the micro of my choosing, with traditional multiplexing. I've added a coin cell battery to prevent setting up the time after every power loss. It's a primary cell and these diodes prevent the battery from unintentional charging and discharging. The programming port was also included. This section is on a separate PCB, allowing me to tweak the base clock if needed. For the firmware I used Bascom because I happen to have it and know it. The first part is just a definition of the micro, constant, subs, etc. The main loop calls a refresh procedure and goes to sleep. That multi-level if is optional and used for software time correction. The program goes through minutes, chooses one of the 60 and turns on the digit. Analogically for the hours. Every segment is being turned on. There's a short wait time to increase light intensity and turn off at the end. Everything was assembled and 3D printed brackets were made to hanging on the wall. 2 main issues, light shining through the plexi and reflecting from the wall through the inactive segments. I resolve all of that covering the backside with black sprayed paint. It looks pretty nice. A little bit dim during the day, but its main purpose was to work at night. Besides, brightness can be increased if needed and or controlled by a sensor. Why bother, you may ask? There are many pre-made 7-segment displays. Most of them are widely available up to 4 inches. If you want to make it bigger, or a cool clock like this, or a Predator clock if you're into that, this is worth considering.